Oh, hi everyone. Welcome to Vinnie's Good Night In. My name's Kieran. It's such a pleasure to be with you tonight. I can't wait to tell you all about this event. This event is here to celebrate the close connections that we have in our life. When Vinnie's first told me about this idea, I was stoked to get on board, right? Such a great good night in. I mean, look at this. I invited a lot of my mates. The only one that rocked up is Ted right here. So I don't know, he's pretty quiet. He doesn't really talk that much. Ted, do you want a popcorn? He doesn't really get involved, but you know, at least I've got someone here with me. This was a really important event for me to get involved with because last year I was part of the show Filthy Rich and Homeless. And that was the first time in my life where I really felt a sense of loneliness and isolation over those 10 days. And it's only once you don't have that connection in your life that you realize how important connection is. So that's what this event is about tonight, just celebrating those close connections in our life and that close support network. Do you guys realize where I am? I'm at the Vinnies WA distribution centre and this place is huge. There's mattresses, clothes, so much going on. This furniture here, all part of donations that have been donated by kind people in WA. And all this work that goes on here is to help those that are experiencing hardship. In a minute, we're going to watch a video that shows just two of our over 4,000 volunteers here at Vinnies WA, Anita and Steph. And they're going to talk to you about the emergency assistance program and how important it is to have a program like this to help people experiencing hardship.
Hello Vinnies, can I have your name please?
When I started volunteering for Vinnies in the call centre, it was a big surprise to the number of people out there in our community that do require assistance in some form for the basic needs of life, such as food. The amount of assistance that is provided to our clients, and it all starts here in the call centre and progresses through to all our other volunteers in other areas.
I've logged the food for you, Craig. Is that all the assistance you require today? Wonderful. Okay, so the volunteers, I'll just confirm that with you.
Emergency assistance is something where somebody will call in and they need help. We contact them. They can either come into the support centre and have an interview, or we can go to their home and assess their general needs of where they need help, what they need help with, and how we're going to progress from there.
So many clients, 80 to 150 calls a day. They all have their own issues, they've all got their own needs. Some people are funny, some people are not. They are in distress with their situation.
Visitation at St Vinnies is the core work of what we do. For me, visitation is very personal to my heart. I came across Vinnies probably 12 years ago. I was bringing up two young grandchildren and had to leave work, and I was in a horrific, horrible state, and they helped me access the right places that we are all entitled to that we don't know about. But they are helping you to find out where and how and who you access, and that's the biggest thing.
New clients often don't know what we provide. It is emergency relief, things like food, clothing, bills, your electricity, water bills, furniture.
But we can help you.
We can refer people for housing assistance. We can refer them for domestic violence. We can also help with referring them to dentists for dental assistant. There's many other things as well. One lady came in who was homeless, and I got her some toiletries, and she had no idea about the toiletries and the shock on her face. But the joy on her face, at least I can have a proper wash and I can do this and do that.
Yes, it's pretty amazing. And we do make a difference Vinnies does make a difference to these people's lives, particularly when you have a client at the end of the phone call who says, "Thank you for your help. God bless."
All very, very interesting, and everybody has a story. And the stories that we hear are heartbreaking, but when they come good, they're just so rewarding. And all I can say is thank God for St Vincent de Paul's.
So joining me now is Andrew York, the Executive Manager of Vinnies WA Community Engagement Services. Andrew, I've got to apologise you didn't get one of the prime seats because Ted has reserved it. He's my only mate that rocked up, so I've got to keep him happy. I don't want him leaving. So.
Oh, that's okay, Kieran. I'll just help myself to some popcorn instead.
Yeah, help yourself. There's so much here. So I really want to know, Andrew, why is it so important that Vinnies WA volunteers go and visit people in their homes?
It's a really unusual model that Vinnies has in regards to home visitation with people. And why we send people into people's homes is so we can get to know them and understand and really talk to them about their situation. And from those conversations, then we understand what sort of emergency relief we can provide them.
Is that to kind of go, one model doesn't fit all, each case is so individual that we need to really understand what we're dealing with?
It is, because so each person, each family has a different story that they share. And unless you know what that story is, you don't know how to support people. So the more we understand where people are coming from and what their needs are, the better you can build relationships and support people over the long term.
So what are the type of support that people can receive?
Support is a whole range of support, from providing food parcels to people, helping people pay their utility bills, helping with school fees, and sometimes it's just about supporting families and talking to them for emotional support.
And how quickly can this support be given?
The support is a really quick turnaround. So often we'll go and see a family in the morning, and that afternoon we'll be able to provide a food hamper or pay a bill. And it's almost apt that we're actually sitting in the depot. So if a family comes in that's in a domestic abuse situation, for example, they'll call in the morning for a household of furniture, and that afternoon we'll be able to fit the house out with bedding and mattresses, and just things to get people up and going quickly.
So why is it so important to raise money for Vinnies WA emergency assistance?
I think the importance for me, Kieran, is I've been working in not-for-profits for over 30 years, and I've never seen the need so great in the West Australian community. So for an example, over the last 3 or 4 years at Vinnies, we've gone from helping 35,000 people up to 65,000 people. Last year, we all know we're in the middle of COVID, we've had bushfires, and without that support to the community, many families feel like they're getting left behind. So sometimes what we're doing is encouraging people to be part of that community, and when we support them with, the utility payments or food hampers, it just gives people that boost that they need.
And you mentioned, during that time last year, during bushfires and COVID and everything going on, how much of an increase did you see that need for services in Vinnies WA?
Oh, it was amazing last year. So as COVID hit, no one could have access to food in the state. Vinnies had a warehouse, and we had, 100,000 toilet rolls. We had access to pasta and food, Weetabix, Milo, tea for people. So our warehouse actually looked like a Coles. We supplied food to close to 20,000 people. So it was an amazing time that responsive from all of Vinnies staff, not just the staff and volunteers that work in the emergency relief section, but staff from marketing to staff that were in the warehouse. Everyone was involved in doing stuff. And more recently, over the last 2 months, we've been supporting a lot of the families that have lost their properties in the bushfires. Many of those families have been significantly underinsured and out of pocket. So we've been able to provide some financial assistance to help restock their pods with mattresses while they rebuild houses, or just help with normal things like fencing, things that you forget about in the metro. Someone's water tank's burnt down. They've got no access to water or a generator. So, we can provide fuel for someone's generator while they're waiting for Western Power.
So Vinnies can be quite versatile in the type of support that they provide.
One of the things that I love about Vinnies is we don't have a lot of bureaucracy around what we can do. If there's an impact in the community and something happens or an emergency on day 1, we're in place on day 2 and 3. We act really quickly, and things get in place and get out to people immediately.
That's amazing. And just more so recently now, with a lot of the government support stopping for so many people across Australia, how has that impacted the type of support that you've had to give to vulnerable people?
Yeah, unfortunately, we went through a period where the Commonwealth Government was actually allowing people to live above the poverty line for the first time in a long time. Now we've cut back on JobSeeker and JobKeeper. What that means is we've got many families that are on the edge of eviction or will be evicted. We all know there's no rentals in Perth now. Rentals are going up anywhere between $50 and $100 a week. But if you're on a pension, your pension's not going up that amount. So a lot of the work that Vinnies does is about ensuring families stay in their homes. They aren't evicted, they don't end up in the street, or they don't end up homeless.
So aside from volunteers going into people's homes, there's also another way that people can access support.
Yeah, that's right. Vinnies runs a number of community hubs. And the hubs are basically like an office where people can come into. Our volunteers have a chat to them. We see what they need, and then from those hubs we can provide support like a food hamper or pay utility bills. Not everyone wants to be visited at home, so the hubs are really important for those families that still want to seek assistance, but want to do it in a safe place, which is what the hubs are.
Andrew, thank you so much for joining me and all my friends that are doing a good night in, wherever they are right now. Just really understand how important it is to have an emergency assistance program. Hey guys, look where I am right now. I'm at a Vinnies shop and I'm here with Chris, who's a retail manager at one of the shops.
Hey Kieran, welcome to Vinnies. Glad to have you.
So Chris, Vinnies shops are so much more than just a shopping experience.
It certainly is, Kieran. It's more than a shopping experience. There's a lot more to Vinnies than just coming into the retail stores. We also provide a lot of emergency relief to people that really need that little bit of extra care in our community. So families can come in with their emergency relief vouchers. They can come into our stores and we can help them. We can help them with clothing. We can help them with furniture. They might need just fresh bedding. We can help them with cups, saucers, anything. We're here to help. And with these emergency relief vouchers, they can go to any of our 54 stores and we're here to help them with whatever they need.
So Chris, has there been a time working at the Vinnies store where you've helped someone and it's really stuck with you?
Oh, absolutely, Karen. Like, we get stories that come through every day. One that really stuck in my mind was I had a single mum just out of a relationship come in with her 3 kids, and she just didn't know how she was going to put winter clothes on them. Well, going into winter, she had her emergency relief vouchers, and we ended up clothing all her kids in jackets, winter clothing. She got winter bedding, and look, she was just forever grateful. She didn't think that anything like this could possibly be available to her.
What did that help mean to her?
Oh, she was in tears. She was in tears. She hugged me at the end and she just said, "Oh, thank you so much. I just didn't know how I was going to get winter clothing for my kids this year."
So Chris, how important is it that people shop at Vinnies stores?
Oh, look, Karen, it's really important for people to shop in our Vinnies stores. It funds our services such as youth, homelessness, housing, emergency relief, mental health. All those funds go towards helping to support that.
Chris, thanks so much for giving me such a great insight into the Vinnies shops and how important they are for the community.
Oh, look, my absolute pleasure, Kieran. I hope that you've learnt something more than just the retail aspect of Vinnies. And yeah, feel free to have a shop while you're here.
No, well, it's shown me how vital, having these shops are for the community. So
absolutely.
Thanks again.
Thanks again.
Thank you for joining me for the Vinnies Good Night In. Your support ensures thousands of West Australians continue to receive the help that they need. One thing that I've really taken away from this is that Vinnies is there for people when times are hard. So whatever you're up to right now, whoever you're with, wherever you are, thank you for joining me for the Vinnies Good Night In from me and my mate Ted.